Hello, and welcome to the Wine Educate podcast, where we explore WSET education, study tips, and practical advice for wine enthusiasts and professionals. I'm your host, Joanne Close, and I have a special guest here with me today. I have Sal Mortellaro. He is our WSET Beer Educator. So this is pretty exciting, and I just want to go on and tell you all about it, but that's not the point of having an interview. So I'm going to let Sal introduce himself and tell us all about his beer background. So welcome, Sal.
Hey, Joanne, thanks for having me. It's great to be here at the Independent Cuvée in New Orleans, as always. Here to talk about WSET Beer and their new program on their Level 1 and Level 2 certification.
Great. So tell me about your beer background.
So my personal beer background with regards to certifications and how I got into the WSET beer program. I was a longtime lover of beer, loving beer, turned into homebrewing, which turned into competitions and entering competitions, and then turned into judging beer through the BJCP or the Beer Judge Certification Program. Through that program, I became one of the few Grandmaster beer judges in the world. The program's been around since 1985 and about 15,000 certified beer judges in that program. In 1985, about 4 years ago, I became the 64th Grandmaster beer judge ever, and I'm currently a Grandmaster Level 2 judge through the program, as well as a blind beer reviewer for the Beer Connoisseur magazine, and a judge for some pretty major competitions, commercial competitions, Great American Beer Fest, World Beer Cup, and several other very well-known competitions.
Wow, that's a lot to digest. It's coming from the wine side of things and all the wine accreditations. It is a completely different world in the beer industry, particularly because it's not like there's a whole lot of us making our own wine at home. But in beer, that is a really common thing for people to do home brews. And so therefore, it's my understanding that these competitions have sort of built up around that.
Correct. So the BJCP is kind of the gold standard. There's a couple of different certification programs that we may touch on, but the BJCP is the gold standard for beer competitions, both homebrew and commercial. With the BJCP, the average beer judge is going to probably judge more, if not exclusively, homebrew competitions throughout their judging career. However, those that are the higher ranked judges, national master, grandmaster judges, definitely get invites to the Great American Beer Fest, for example, which is kind of the Super Bowl of beers in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. When is that held?
The Great American Beer Fest is held approximately September, October timeframe, depending on the year. World Beer Cup is actually coming up in April.
Oh, wow.
As well. So also Denver, this year, Indianapolis.
Okay. Will you be going?
So yes, I did get invited to World Beer Cup this year to judge. However, some last minute stuff came up and I will not be able to attend, but I will be attending Great American Beer Fest again this year. This will be my 5th or 6th year judging GADF.
Great. Please rewind and explain to me the Grandmaster.
So with the BJCP, the Beer Judge Certification Program, there are several different levels of judges. It goes apprentice to novice to certified to national to master, and then Grandmaster Judge. The Grandmaster Judge are those who have achieved master level, but also have done extra things for their proficiency and further the program. So, for example, I am an exam admin, an exam grader. So people who take the BJCP exam, I'm a grader of their exams, as well as an exam proctor. So with the proctor, it's a little bit different in that I am the eyes, nose, and palate at the exam, to where a couple of national master or grandmaster judges will be the person that everyone is judged against. Without going down a rabbit hole of how the grading process works, you'll have 2 to 3 higher ranked judges to basically convey what is being experienced on that sample of beer that's in front of you at that time.
Okay. Interesting. So it sounds like to me that there's beer competitions for home brews and different rankings. What about beer education? Because for wine, there's a couple of different certifications that are really internationally known. Is there an equivalent in the beer world?
So the BJCP, yes, there are actual BJCP courses that last anywhere from generally over a span of several weeks, couple of months, to where it's a very deep dive into the history of beer, beer styles, beer profiles, if you will. You know, what makes a stout, as well as things like recipe formulation, hops, malt, yeast, water profiles, water chemistry. It gets very much into a deep dive. So BJCP is going to be one of the better known amongst brewers. There is another certification that's relatively new, approximately 10 years old, called the Cicerone certification as well. But this is more for a front of the house application, whereas BJCP may be more for back of the house brewery side.
All right. I see. So it's almost like that's like WSET, and then the Cicerone is like Court of Master Somms.
So I have actually said this before.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yes. In fact, I know we chatted about what we're going to talk about, and I was going to say for the listeners, I really enjoy the WSET because I see the correlations to the BJCP, whereas Cicerone is more court kind of thing. I've mentioned that to people before, so it's absolutely correct.
Okay, interesting. So there is a little bit of a parallel there.
There is crossover between the two, absolutely. In fact, the last 2 years, I would say, the Cicerone has gotten a little bit more into the technical side of brewing, but it's still very BJCP as far as the technical side.
Okay. And it is, before I met you, honestly, and learned about all these beer certifications, really the Cicerone was the one that I had heard of. Folks in the restaurant business talking about that in particular. So the beer certification for WSET is pretty new, right?
Yes, correct.
So I got an email from the folks at WSET saying they were rolling out beer, level 1 and level 2, and would I find someone? And I'm a wine gal. And I got on the phone and I texted a couple of my beer folks back in the day when I worked at Whole Foods and I worked with those beer guys. And all arrows pointed to you. And I was like, who's this guy? So I reached out to you and you were game. And so we sent you off to, where was the ETP?
It was Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Okay. And when was that now?
That was about a year ago, actually. That was January of 24.
Okay. And you were with a group of how many other folks?
It was right at 10.
10.
There was 10 of us who were there to become the first instructors for Beer 1 and 2.
Yeah, the first ever cohort for educators for WSET Beer 1 and 2. So that's kind of exciting.
It was. I got to meet a lot of really interesting folks. I anywhere from brewers to I met a fellow master judge in the class. There were a couple of certified people there as well. Some very interesting behind the scene people that work for very major breweries that I was pretty floored to be with. So it was really, really awesome.
Great. So we've been offering the classes here, level 1 and level 2. Just like my spirits educator, this is not your full-time gig, so I can't have you teach these classes like all the time. But you're very generous with your time to offer them. I think we're doing level 1 twice a year, level 2 twice a year, which is good to roll those out. And explain to folks what they can hope to learn from these WSET. Let's start with level 1. What they could hope to learn from the WSET level 1 beer class.
So level 1 is going to be an intro to beer. There's going to be topics that are covered, such as what is beer, how is beer made, malt and other sources of sugar, hops and flavorings, yeast, how to taste beer, styles of beer, storage and service of beer, and beer pairing, beer and food pairing. So it's going to be a very quick dive into the world of beer. And once you get into this dive, you'll see how much there is out there to learn, and you'll feel very compelled to jump into level 2.
Yeah. And we definitely have seen that. From me, I've got a really strange confession. You know how in middle school you do those science fair projects? I did beer as one year as my science fair project. So I brewed my own beer, which was wild. And pretty much that's kind of the only experience I ever have had with beer. But it's a fermented beverage, just like wine. Equally as interesting, I think. I mean, I sat in on your beer level 1 and I was super excited about hops. I mean, I smelled what was the New Zealand hops?
The New Zealand hops, yeah.
And it smelled just like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc, sure.
Wild.
That terroir that you get is absolutely translates over. Of course, Sauvignon, of course, these New Zealand hops are going to bring all of these interesting tropical fruit aromas, as well as, things like lime and just some really wild stuff that you wouldn't expect to find in beer. But these are, they refer to as New World hops in the class. But it's really interesting how much of an impact and the different, gooseberries, right? I know that was one of your things. Yes.
I went on and on last week about gooseberries. I did.
These nice tart, kind of very fresh, citrusy. It's super interesting. It's very interesting what some of these new varieties are bringing. So
you were also saying that before this, is there so we have our aroma wheel in WSET. We have our standard approach to tasting. How is that in the courses that you teach with the beer courses? How do you like the way that they've organized it?
So the systemic approach, I actually like. It is very similar. Of course, I know this isn't a BJCP, but it's been around for a while. So, in fact, one of the heads of the beer industry, one of the heads of the beer WSET, Morella Amato, she is a master Cicerone, master BJCP judge. So I have a feeling, I'm not going to throw this on her, but I have a feeling that they absolutely looked at the BJCP, their approach to evaluating beer based on aroma, appearance, flavor, mouthfeel, overall impressions. I really do like how WSET does their approach to tasting beer. It's very well thought out. It's very structured. I do enjoy it.
Okay, good. And then for level 2, what's happening in level 2?
So level 1, again, is just a very scratching on the surface. Level 2 is very much more of a deep dive into those ingredients, those styles, the process. You'll get into some more obscure beers, obscure styles, such as lambics and goose and things like that, oud bruns, some really fun beers. But the level 2 is super fun because we do such a deep dive. So in level 1, I think on the tasting portion, we have a little leeway. I think we did about 9 beers for the level 1 class. Level 2 is in the 40-something beer tasting range. So level 2, you definitely drink a good bit of beer in there.
Yeah. So we do 48 wines for level 2 wine. And I was surprised of how many different styles that were just sitting in a level 1 class. So it's a really great opportunity for someone to try such a wide range of different beer styles. Yeah. Tell me what your favorite beer is.
Oh, wow. So I am a huge fan of English barley wines. They don't make it anymore. Thomas Hardy barley wine. I have several that are kept in storage that have aged very nicely. I love those. I love lambics, which are kind of sour, very, very region-specific beers from a particular area of Belgium. And I just love a good Czech Pilsner, just a good lager. So those are kind of my favorite styles as a whole.
We had a gal in our last level 1 class who was taking the course for work, and she announced that she really did not like beer. Remember?
I do. Yes.
At the beginning of class. So, and you were like, yes, a challenge. Let's go. Remember? And then at the end of class, she was converted.
She was. She saw, it's especially being in New Orleans, there is a bit of a stigma of what beer is, that fizzy yellow light American lager that most people are tired of or just don't like. But you come to this class and you see how many different styles are out there, how many different flavors, how aroma, flavor changes with these styles, and how they are absolutely not the same in flavors. And yeah, they're good. They're definitely good as far as the way that the class is set up and displaying what's out there for beer drinkers that they may not be aware of.
Are you still making beer?
I am.
Oh, good.
So I've homebrewed for a long time, and I'm still making beer. I'm in my 12th year now of homebrewing. 12th or 13th year, 13th, I believe.
Oh, so fun. That's great. So, no pressure, but when are you going to take level 2 wine?
I need to do it. So level 1 was super fun. Level 2 beer actually kind of motivated me a little bit to jump into, maybe exploring the level 2 wine. So that is very much a possibility.
Yeah.
So they are talking about, and this may be a bit of a spoiler alert, but they are actually also heavily considering level 3 beer.
I'm sure it's on the horizon.
It is. In fact, the joke is that when we were taking level 2, because you had these very, very knowledgeable beer folks, when we were taking the ETP in level 2, you had these very knowledgeable beer folks, and we would actually start going into level 3 stuff.
I'm sure.
Arguably level 4 stuff. And, Morella, who's teaching the ETP for everybody, said, all right, guys, we got to bring it back down to 2. So that was actually kind of fun. So. Yeah, I would love to do level 2 wine. Yeah.
We try to keep things pretty unpretentious around here. We are a bunch of nerds. We love to learn. And I sometimes feel like there's a bit of probably resistance or hesitation with beer people. And they're like, well, I don't need to take a class. Thank you very much, because I know my things and whatnot. What would you say to that hesitant beer person?
You never know. Me personally, Sure, I was homebrewing for a little bit before I took the BJCP exams. I absolutely became a better homebrewer through my beer education through the BJCP courses. But if you would have said 12, 13 years ago, hey, Sal, you're going to take this class and it is going to open up all of these doors for you to go judge these incredible competitions throughout the world, to write for a beer magazine, to have beer sent to you, to be able to, hang out with all the cool kids, I would have said, there's no way. But lo and behold, here we are. And taking the class, especially for someone who is passionate about it and has that potentiality of being passionate for it, it may open up a whole new career for a lot of opportunities, and I would strongly advise you to do it.
That's great. Are there any certifications left for you to do?
So there are. I do need to pursue the Cicerone program. I think I'll go ahead and try out to get that, at least that certified Cicerone. I've been told that I could probably knock out advanced Cicerone pretty easily. I know a couple of the master Cicerones, and very hard. It would require a lot of intense studying, but it's maybe one of those goals that when I slow down a little bit, I'll try to.
Okay, well, let's be fair. You don't slow down.
I do.
You're like a million miles a minute. So, but now you said it out loud, and now you're going to need to do it. Yeah,
right.
Now you got to do it. Lovely. Thank you so much for coming to chat with me. And we have our level 1 coming up soon in 2 weeks' time from today. So that is February 16th. We have a level 1. So I would jump on that because Sal is a busy man. He has certifications to study for and, real life jobs and things like that. And this is only offered twice a year. So thanks so much, everybody. Thank you, Sal. Appreciate you. And everyone have a lovely week.